This video is a little bit more vulnerable than I'm really comfortable with sharing on the internet, which is a crazy thing for someone who shares every detail of their finances to say. But I know a lot of you are invested in my journey, and I think it's helpful to see what my mindset is and what my goals are, so you can kind of see the direction that I want to work towards. So with the new year on the horizon, let's talk about my goals for 2026. We'll talk money, career, and personal goals. I have some things that are definitely attainable and some things that are big stretch goals that I would like to see the direction of my life kind of change in 2026. But it's a lot more if the stars align than anything. I also think it's really easy for me to share these flashy videos where I say, look at all these things I've accomplished. Look at this money I've saved. Look at this debt I've paid off. Look at this trip that I'm taking. Look how fun my life is. But all of those things that I'm able to do are because of the goals that I set and work towards. So I want to share the starting point too. Because this is a money channel, let's go ahead and just start with financial goals. From my day job, which if you don't know, I work as an occupational therapist, I make $80,000 per year. So if we're looking at just the goals that I have with that income, it is just a lot of consistency and a lot of intentionally putting money towards my financial goal. The first one I have is I want to hit sub $50,000 left on my student loans in 2026. I currently have about $76,000 left to pay, and it'll probably be around $75,000 at the start of the new year because I'm filming this towards the end of November. So with interest, I haven't done the exact math, but it's about $30,000 that I'd have to put towards my loans, a little bit less. I usually put between $2,000 and $2,500 towards my debt, so that leaves me with about $6,000 left to scrape together, which I think I can pull together between 3 paycheck months and overtime. I want to hit $15,000 invested in my 401k, which I should be on track for between my match and my investments as long as the market stays up. Obviously, I can't control gains made, but I do want to continue to contribute to that, and obviously I will. I also want to completely max out my Roth IRA in 2026, and this would be the second year in a row that I do that. Finally, I want to take one international trip at least. I think we're thinking Spain in the May timeframe. That should happen on the earlier half of the year, which will be good. Now, for me, all of these things are pretty attainable, and yes, putting $2,000 a month towards my loans is a huge undertaking, but it's just me staying the course. It's nothing new. The wild card for me is my potential to grow my income here on social media. Currently, I'm monetized on YouTube, and I have been for about a year. My income has been steadily growing on YouTube, but it hasn't amounted to anything much, mostly just $100 a month from AdSense. I haven't really had much success in growing this income in a meaningful way, but I have had some success with the digital products that I sell, and I want to add more digital products to my library of products. I think with what I teach and what I share on the internet, it really aligns nicely with my budget template, and then I want to add some projection templates that can help people plan their future, whether it's paying off debt or investing. So I'm hoping to scale my income from these sources and also grow more of a community on here. So what would happen if I really hungered down, focused on improving the quality of these videos and growing my income from other sources? Could I do some crazy stuff with my finances? I think this is where it's like kind of vulnerable to talk about my dreams, because I really genuinely do like creating these videos because I hear from you guys how much it helps you rethink your finances, how much you like connecting with your life and seeing yourself reflected in me. And I get the same benefit from you when you say I'm doing X, Y, or Z, or oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. I really like that sense of community that I get. And also, it does have a potential to bring income, and I think that's an okay thing to talk about how I would use that income towards my financial goals. So if I'm paying my debt down to $50,000 with my regular income, could I pay off the rest of that $50,000 with income from social media this year? Currently, if things continue to scale at the rate that they are, no. But if we take taxes out of the equation for simplicity's sake, I would have to earn an additional $4,000 a month from my social media, and crazier things have happened. To me, this is just a wildly unattainable number, and it just seems like it would be jaw-dropping, like it's doubling my income. But compared to the potential that digital products, brand deals, social media income has, it's pretty achievable. If I was able to pay off $50,000 of loans, could I also get $1,000 invested in a brokerage account? I mean, come on. Like, if I'm making that money, it doesn't seem like that insane of a goal. I haven't really thought of a specific split, but I think that as I earn income, I want to put a small, like a 3% towards investments and the rest towards my debt. But I haven't fully decided a split, so I'll have to kind of look at that in the next couple months. Could I do these things and set myself up to work part-time as an OT in 2027? If I pay my debt off, this is a super real realistic goal. But can it be done in just 1 year? Let's talk about my career goals and I'll kind of share what I'm thinking. I think it's kind of obvious that my career goals in the next year are very focused on my personal brand. I obviously have career goals at work that involve moving into more leadership positions, kind of growing my skill set and learning more. I like to keep my work very separate from this channel, except for sharing what I make from that work. The nature of my work is that it's very private. I work in healthcare. I can't really share a lot of the details of my day-to-day. And I really like having that separation of my career and this. But I will gladly talk about my goals for my socials. I think one thing that I really want to focus on in 2026 is not appealing to a wider audience and being more outspoken and vocal about my beliefs and what I'm working towards. Ultimately, I really don't think we can talk about finances without talking about the oppression in society that keeps people poor, but my financial content is not for people that don't have discretionary income. So I think I kind of tiptoe around the fact that I have extra money and can spend it widely and what I would do with that and how to work towards financial goals out of respect for the fact that that's not a possibility for everyone. But I really want to focus on being bolder in my voice, because also sharing more education on policy and how that affects people, as well as how you can use your money to build a life you love and share with others and make their life better, can be really valuable from my perspective. But a lot of the mindset that I have around budgeting is really focused on using discretionary income wisely, which just isn't possible if discretionary income isn't there. And I don't want to tiptoe around that anymore. Maybe my content can be more aspirational if you're not in the same shoes that I am. And hopefully, if I'm a little bit louder about where I'm at in the world and what I do with that money and how I make the world a better place with that money for myself and for others, that can be more meaningful and more valuable to my viewers. So I want to be a little bit stronger in the stances I take. If my content's not for you, then my content's not for you. So I want to commit to posting a total of 52 long form videos, 1 a week in 2026, with my content pillars being around financial transparency and education. And then I want to commit to posting 2 educational and 1 transparency based short a week, and I'll toss in little bits of lifestyle throughout the mix. Now, we can't set goals we can't control. Those are the goals that we can control. But if we're looking at the numbers and what I would like this channel to look like in 2026, by the end of 2026, I'd like to double my followers. So I'd love to have 10,000 followers. And I would like for TikTok to reach the same, which is a lot higher of a growth, but I think TikTok has more potential to be exponential than YouTube. I'd love to hit a total of $500 in sales off of my digital products in Q1 of 2025, and then we'll revisit that goal based on how that goes in Q2. Unrelated, but kind of related, I really miss vlogging and I really like vlogging. I want to improve my storytelling with vlogging, but I don't think that has a space on this channel. If I created another channel and kind of focused on sharing my life through that channel, would you guys follow it? I know it's not for everyone. A lot of you are just here for the money, which is why I don't want to put that stuff on this channel, because it really doesn't fit in. And because finances are an interest I have, I think I would share a lot more about how I use credit card points to travel and do those things on that channel. That doesn't seem to reflect super well on this channel, but also just more vlogs and showing my day-to-day life, as well as like traveling, camping, all the Colorado things. I'm interested in this also because I think it can tie in really well with our business. And so I think that that might fit together better somewhere else than if I tried to like make it all work here. So if you're interested in that, let me know down below just so that I have a gauge. I think I'll do it no matter what, but I definitely want to hear from you guys and what you would want to see on that channel. All right, since we're talking about my personal life, let's talk about that next. And this is the part that I really hate. Like, I can talk money and be like, hey, I want to make 6 figures all day, every day, because that is obvious. Like, my channel's about building wealth, so obviously I want to make money. But personally, blah. I am 26 and I have low back pain and an embarrassingly slow mile time. At 22, I was absolutely flying through the trails of the Colorado high country and just crushing and enjoying life. And I want to meet her again in 2026. So 3 30-minute workouts a week, no rules, that's it. I am such a perfectionist with exercise that I think that if I'm not gonna have like the most perfect workout, I just skip it and I don't work out at all. And that is the dumbest thing ever, I know. It's something that we're gonna overcome in 2026. Related to that, this summer I'm going to complete Hope Pass. It is a pass in Colorado. It's actually the turnaround point on the Leadville 100. And it is the first trail that I truly DNF'd because I was out of shape. This was 2 summers ago now, and I started hiking it and I didn't finish. And I have not finished other trails because of safety concerns, weather, like lack of preparedness, but never because I wasn't fit enough to complete the trail. And could I have slogged over it? Absolutely. It's not like my heart gave out and I couldn't do it. It was truly just a matter of fitness. It was a bit of a rock bottom, if we're being honest, and we are just gonna come right back up and finish her this summer. I'm gonna do an out and back. It's an 11-mile through trail, so we're gonna do a 22-mile hike out and back over the pass, and it's gonna be amazing. Summer 2026. And then in In 2025, my emphasis, like general kind of theme for the year, was to focus on relationships. And in 2026, my theme for the year is going to be focusing on me. Really want to break up with my phone addiction. I actually just yesterday had Jake put a screen time password on my phone that I don't know. That way I still have the apps, I can use them, especially for like work things. The scrolling is not an option for me because I literally can't unlock my screen time. This is already working well. Like yesterday, my screen time's locked out. It's 15 minutes. That's all I get for the day, which is enough time to do the work that I need to do on them. But I don't even want to like doom scroll a little bit. I just found myself sitting on my phone, swiping back and forth on the home pages. And I was like, this is so dumb, but it was honestly hard to put down. So I think that's a good start. And then we'll just kind of go from there. So I'll probably read some books on that, but I want to break up with my phone. I don't really know how to set a SMART goal around that. So we'll just leave it kind of as a vibe. I would love to practice words of affirmation every day, even if it's as I'm falling asleep. I think there's a lot of evidence in the psychology of speaking kind to yourself and like speaking beliefs until you believe them. And then I would love for Jake and I to actually do one day night every single month. That should be so attainable. Anyways, that was enough sharing for the internet. I think sharing like goals and aspirations can be scary because we celebrate the finish line so much, but it's really scary to admit this is what I want and I don't really know if I can get there, but I'm gonna try. And if I don't get there, you've already said where you wanted to be, so now the whole world knows you failed. Or maybe that's just how I see it. But I think it's a lot more interesting if I share my starting line and then look back at December of next year and say, look where I came based on where I wanted to go. And even if it's not all the way, at least it's steps in the right direction. And with that, there will be a documented roadmap of, hey, this is the direction I wanted the world to take me, and look what I did, rather than it just seem like, look at all these accomplishments. So I think that's hopeful. Maybe it's not, maybe you feel differently, who knows? Anyways, thank you for your support and for watching this video. I hope maybe it sparked some ideas. Maybe you're just curious what other people your age are working towards. I hope I can keep you around in the next year.